Kevin Clarke, a social justice activist, former homeless man, who is well known to have been a crack addict on the street, but never was a crack addict. Mr. Clarke has never put any form of wants, drugs, whether it's alcoholism, whether it's family, whether it's female, whether it's lust, has never ever put that above the needs of humanity. So if somebody's hungry, you will always give them food. If they're thirsty, you'll always give them water to drink. If they are a victim of injustice, we will always be there to stand up to the justice. His addiction is something that he did not choose. He ended up in the freezing streets of Toronto, to where he was banned from most housing services and shelters for speaking out about the needs of other individuals using the shelters. He's the most wrongfully arrested person, according to 52 Division police records, who stated that he was riling up the people. He was told that he had the largest fine, 52 Division, for being a man who was homeless at that time, but was so well respected by the people around him. He went out, he panhandled, he would pick up cans, bottles, beg, or borrow from friends. So he put together hunger feed-outs or different types of events to build stronger communities. He even rollerblades in wintertime, just so he could pick up food and carry to those who were hungry in the shelter. His addiction was not an addiction of his choice. It was something that came through the pain, the suffering, the ordeals of him having to travel the streets for days in, days out, without showering, and not even have a place to lay his head to rest, because when he tried to on private property, they would call police. In turn, Mr. Clarke became a mayoral candidate to advocate for the needs of those less fortunate. It is well documented his addiction that he's gone through. Since he has been at 4301 Kingston Road, Mr. Clarke got a $7,000 settlement from his landlord on Charles Street, and when he was given housing at 4301 Kingston Road, a place he used to frequent decades earlier when he was a pimp on the streets of Toronto, he accepted it because he believed that there was a purpose that God had him there. When he came to the premise was in total disarray. First day he came in, there was people running down people down the front of the building with baseball bats and hatchets ready to kill each other. The gazebo was infested with dog poop. There was broken glass everywhere, and there was feces, there was urine all over the despicablest carpets that you will see in the history. In turn, Mr. Clarke ran into a senior with her two grandkids, and they inspired him to not only put up signs to clean up the feces, but also to end up creating children's garden at home. Continually, Mr. Clarke, there?
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Clarke seemed to be receiving opposition from Toronto Community Housing and different types of management, who seemed to target Mr. Clarke. Then he encountered being targeted by a gang and was informed later by other tenants that there's been a Caucasian gang that's been running on the premise. And they think that they're the only ones that matter, and they run things and no one else matters. One of those individuals is the accused in this case. For over 3.5 years, the accused has stalked, harassed, assaulted, robbed, threatened, come to Mr. Clarke's door, to bang it down, and Mr. Clarke living in fear, to where at times Mr. Clarke could not go anywhere where there was no cameras or where there was no other public member around. The public was in fear of these gangs, and his testimonies that you've seen by different written statements that if they spoke out against this gang would in turn attack them. Mr. Clarke did not know that this gang was targeted until he found when he was running for mayor all these signs. Anything he puts up about social events, whether it's seniors events or children's events, within a couple of minutes of him putting it down, they were totally ripped down. If there's garbage anywhere, there'd be no problem that if Mr. Clarke put down a sign that says, "Let's feed the hungry, be a friend to the lonely," or to announce a children's event, then those would be ripped down. Out of the $7,000 settlement he got, the cash settlement, Mr. Clarke invested $4,000 to $5,000 of that into the community to build a stronger community. The accused in this matter who has been recently charged, they seem to always reverse. So they create, they attack, And then record the individuals, either on mental health issues or have police record. They in turn will twist the stories around and in turn get others who are with them to collaborate. These individuals I'm talking are beyond the point of where they have no morals. They do not care how despicable lies. They would tell lies because they're thinking in a reverse state. There's all sorts of other incidents that will be documented. But on this day, after Lowery was finally charged, after 3.5 years of extreme torture, I'm talking torture that you cannot imagine. A man living in fear in his own home, won't even go to the bathroom, can't even shower because he's afraid that these individuals will tell outrageous lies to the police, and the police will come and kick down his door, believing these allegations. Like, we think he may have a gun, or whatever it may be. So in terms, Mr. Clarke is living. Mr. Clarke can't even clean in his own house. He always has to have his back towards somewhere, watching the doors or the walls, and the amount of time these incidents. To the point to where the accused could not get to Mr. Clarke. He had his friends or he has his kids attacking Mr. Clarke and in turn saying, how can he be doing all these for children when he has no kids himself? So in turn, after he was charged, Mr. Clarke in turn was going to one-stop convenience, and in turn he sees Lowery at egregious conditions a few weeks previously. Previously to that, Mr. Clarke was at his area where he normally campaigned for the office and speak about the issues that he put forth. And again, Lowery, I hate to say the word because it's painful, was stalking him. Then another time, Mr. Clarke was coming across the store, and there was Lowery's dad going at Mr. Clarke when the condition says not to directly or indirectly associate with Mr. Clarke. And at the corner, instead of Lowery going at Mr. Clarke, he has his friends going at Mr. Clarke, which again is indirect. Mr. Clarke tried to write all this down, but due to health issues and responsibilities of taking care of 5 animals and the social services issues you do, and the strengths of housing issues that have been created or have been accumulated due to lack of services from housing, because he speaks out against issues of repair, maintenance, and safety in housing. Mr. Clarke not only just have to write them down on pieces of paper, and eventually, with that much chats, they eventually get thrown all over the place. Mr. Clarke intended to file all these reports, but Mr. Clarke has spent so much time on hold waiting for TPS non-emergency line because they use those things to where they can see the numbers that are calling, and the police seems to choose which calls to accept or not. Mr. Clarke has spent hundreds and hundreds of hours with TPS police, with different trying to deal with this attack. I'm talking vicious attack of hate, total possessiveness, and the narcissistic state of this individual who seems to think in reverse. And that reverse thinking came into light today at 5:30 that Mr. Clarke went across the center median where he's known to frequent, and he had put up a sign, a little sign that you will see later on that says the end is near for every child, and then Supreme Court of Canada Clarke was drawn. A previous sign Mr. Clarke that was gone. It was either the mayor was Lincoln, or it could have been Lowery who attacked anything that's associated with Captain Clarke. Mr. Clarke went out, he saw the sign was gone. So he started a rant. Olivia Chow, if you didn't blink, why are you using city workers to remove a one sign? The garbage down there still remains, the litter down there remains, the dead bird remains, but the only thing that's missing is the Kevin Clarke versus the City of Toronto versus Olivia Chow sign. At that point, Mr. Clarke heard someone scream at him, yeah, Olivia Chow's going to kick your ass. You're going to lose to Olivia Chow. You're going to this. There's astonishment. Stop Lowery at the one-stop convenience, and naturally he will be there because they now sell alcohol. They now sell beer. And Scott Lowery seems to be anywhere where there's alcohol and beer. And he was there. Mr. Clarke did not speak back to him. Mr. Clarke just kept speaking to the public. And then Lowery started screaming at Mr. Clarke, Olivia Child is going to kick you out. Olivia Child is going to win. Mr. Lowery is in a condition not to directly or indirectly associate with Mr. Clarke. That there is a breach because he had to directly associate Mr. Clarke by addressing the issues Mr. Clarke was speaking about in the public. At that time, Mr. Clarke realized that Mr. Lowery again had breached his condition and had no respect for the law and the stipulations that were put on him for his bail condition. If he had respected the law, he would not have been harassing and badgering Mr. Clarke while speaking. Mr. Clarke did not actually charge, and he tried to get the time, the exact time. He was going to walk back to his building. But then Mr. Clarke, who was on his way to the convenience store, one-stop convenience where he's a regular, saw Mr. Lowery went into the one-stop convenience store. And when Mr. Lowery saw Mr. Clarke across the street and was badgering at him, according to his condition not to be within a certain limit, that Mr. Lowery should not have gone into the one-stop convenience store because he was in the limits. He's not allowed to be where Mr. Clarke is. So Mr. Clarke decided he's going to go into the convenience store, and he realized that some officers who do not know the law, or others who are listening to this who do not know the law, will say, well, why would you go into the convenience store to empty it? Mr. Clarke didn't go into the convenience store to empty it. Went into the convenience store, number one, get time. He knew the convenience store had recorded was to see if when he walked into that convenience store, that Lowery again would breach his condition and would try to communicate with Mr. Clarke. Because his enough is enough. You cannot, a man cannot have all his work be dismantled by this individual and continually be stopped by this individual, and even after they're arrested, for them to continue the same activities that led to these charges. And after the years of torture and have gone through that abuse, to where a man had to live in fear of his home, could not have done his feed outs, could not have done gardening, could not have done senior services, due to the stalking of this individual, Mr. Clarke said, I will walk in the convenience store, and I'm just going to ask what time it is, because I know they already have a camera, so we can document this incident. Go the front door camera would have had Lowery turning around, pointing at Clarke and screaming. So as soon as Mr. Clarke walked into the store, he did not say nothing. You can see like Lowery communicating. Hey, tell him to get out of your store. Hey, you're not allowed to be here. You're not allowed to be around me. These are conditions not to be around me. As you can see, Mr. Lowery definitely has a mental illness because his conditions not to be around Mr. Clarke does not end up against Mr. Clarke. Mr. Clarke can go wherever he wishes, even if Lowery is present. But Lowery is the accused, and he is not allowed to go anywhere that he knows Mr. Clarke is present. Mr. Clarke, if Mr. Clarke's going to the store and Lowery to the store, Mr. Clarke's allowed to go into the store. So Mr. Clarke is not on criminal charges. Mr. Clarke did not break the law. But if Mr. Clarke is in the store, and Lowery's going to the same store, and he knows Mr. Clarke is in that store, Lowery cannot go into that store because Lowery is on criminal charges. Lowery is under the belief that the criminal charges and the stipulations and the repercussions of his criminal acts and the boundaries and the rules that he has to abide by, he is under the belief that those are current against Mr. Clarke. Okay. Which shows that he is misinterpreting things backwards, and it shows that he also has no respect for the law and the recognizance that he's on. And the picture of recognizance you can see at 5:32. I walked into the Walmart, and you can see Lowery turn around from the cash register and started screaming at me. And that's a violation of his conditions, not to directly or indirectly. Mr. Clarke walked straight at the store, that Lowery in the store after he had reached, and walked down toward the plaza, and there it was. Lowery came out of the store, started screaming at Mr. Clarke that Charles is going to beat you, you're a shithead, and he started screaming all sorts of words and saying that, oh, you breach the conditions. You're not supposed to be around me. Even when Mr. Clarke is walking away, a distance away from Lowery is still screaming and communicating with Mr. Clarke to where Lowery, who was in a vehicle with a friend of his, Roman, who drives a vehicle in front of her alcoholized mama home, a place Mr. Clarke also frequents. And then you can see Lowery going towards, they're still screaming at Clarke, and he turned a can of Mike's hard alcohol, and he threw it in front of the authorized out of the vehicle. So either he or the individual who was driving the vehicle went into the one-stop mart, bought a can of Mike's hard alcohol, and within 10 meters from where they were at the store to the vehicle, they drank that whole can of alcohol and disposed of it and threw it on their walkway. This is clearly a breach of cognizance. Those who do not respect the law will try to say, well, why did you go into the store against me? Mr. Clarke has a freedom. He can go wherever he chooses because he did not commit a criminal act. Mr. Lowery does not have that freedom because he has committed a criminal act. So you cannot say, even though this individual broke the law and breaches the cognizance, that Mr. Clarke instigated, because Mr. Clarke did not. Mr. Clarke went on his everyday life. Cannot expect Mr. Clarke now to moderate his life more, because he had to moderate his life for 3.5 years. And the police and CSU did not act or the public when Lowery stalked, harassed, slander, alienate, assault, robbed, and tortured him beyond the point of death. And finally, after so much pressure, he was charged. But Lowery clearly shows now he had no respect for the law. When he started screaming at Mr. Clarke, who was in the center of the roadway, about child kicking his ass, he's a this, he's that. When Mr. Clarke walked into the store, Lowery, knowing his real conditions, should have finished what he was doing and not made any attempt to communicate with Mr. Clarke. See clearly, and you can speak clearly to the storekeeper who was showing that Mr. Clarke made no communication. God, all who could walk in and ask the storekeeper at the time, Lowery in turn screamed at Clarke, you're not supposed to be around me. You're on condition not to be around me. No, you are on condition not to be around Mr. Clarke. Mr. Clarke is not on condition not to be anywhere or not to be around you. Mr. Clarke cannot go and try to instigate an argument or try to operate. Mr. Clarke can go wherever he wishes because he has freedom, because he never committed a criminal act. You committed a criminal act. So you are on conditions. Lowery seems to think his conditions bound Mr. Clarke and not him, or just him. And you can see in the videotape from 5:32 at the One Marston Convenience Elevator cabinet. See Lowery at the counter. Clarke walks through the door. Lowery turns around and starts screaming at Clarke. All Clarke did was not say nothing back to Lowery. Asked the storekeeper time. Lowery in turn told the storekeeper, kick him out of your store. He's not allowed to be around me. No, Lowery, you are not allowed to go anywhere he goes. He's allowed to go anywhere. So if you see Mr. Clarke in the store, you can't go to the store. But if Mr. Clarke is going to a store and you look at the store, Mr. Clarke can still go to the store. He just can't antagonize you or look to bring up. And that Mr. Clarke did not do and would not do. Mr. Clarke has respect for the law and has respect for the store and the government. So, and we expect the body to be charged with cognizance and to be banned from within 500 meters of 2301 Kingston Road, except for medical appointments that can be confirmed to previously sent. Have a happy